I want to ask you what do you think about the fact that the AP has called the Obama administration's take on messaging ironclad discipline that involves carefully choreographed interactions with the press that is marked by a no-drama Obama credo, and that is run by staffers who are rewarded by a strong loyalty to their man's message. How Orwellian does that sound? And we will start with you again, Daniel.
Big Brother's watching. Yeah, pretty much. We definitely are fast forward 50-plus years. We're definitely living in George Orwell's world. But I don't. The fact that they're incentivized to rule with an iron fist and adhere to the president's demands is kind of frightening.
All right, Brian, let's go with you next.
Yeah, it's definitely Orwellian right now. I can't believe how blasé the people are about this, how non-grasping of the implications to what the administration is doing here and how it's going to affect them directly. I don't think a lot of people are really understanding that or grasping that, because otherwise there would be a lot more people outraged about this. Which also brings me to, I'm confused, where is the outrage from the media? Why? I mean, the AP is saying something, but that's about all they're doing.
Well, to be fair, Fox News is kind of blowing up about this because it was
now
one of their correspondents, but of course
they weren't blowing up about it. They weren't blowing up about it when it happened to AP. They weren't saying much.
Well, of course,
but that's the thing. This is when it goes against our favor. Is when the right side their heads are exploding over what we're doing. That's when it goes against our favor. We should be blowing the whistle on what our own guy is doing. Instead, most people who voted for Obama are keeping really quiet because they don't want to admit that their guy is really fucked up and not really part of their team.
Well,
so people like Fox News, they blow up over things like this, and that gives the appearance that huge liberal agenda, huge government-loving liberal agenda is failing us and failing our country, and we need to make sure we never elect another liberal again.
Well,
so Obama is hurting the liberal agenda.
This is where my confusion is as to, never mind liberal conservative. I don't understand why the people are so blasé about this, and even more so why the press is not out there in force, one behind the other, going, you can't do this, you can't do this. The AP should be suing. Fox News should be suing. CNN should be behind them. MSNBC should be in full support of them. ABC.
But they're owned.
I know, but I'm just confused why journalists.
I believe it comes down to access, and I think that's kind of a major part, is that you have to have
what good
the way
is
that I see it.
Access
what good is access?
If nobody
because that brings in the ratings, and ratings bring in the advertisers. Come on, this is about money and getting people to watch your channel. If you don't have big name senators or whatever on your news program, they figure that, well, if we don't have those people, who is going to watch us? And that's why they're kind of really behind on what the viewer wants.
That's a sad note on the people of the nation themselves, if you think about that, because
only the ones that are still watching mainstream media.
But you're implying that everybody is.
But they're
most
not.
of them, not all of them.
But if they're not, then again, why aren't these people more outraged? Because they're not going to get the respect if they don't do something. So what's the use in having?
Maybe there's just so many things you can be outraged at one time, because look at all the problems that we have already. Not to get too far off topic, but there seems to be something to be outraged about every week.
You certainly don't want your press to comply to the administration.
Exactly.
Fucking tyrant.
Hell no.
And that seems to be what they're doing.
Well, exactly. That's another thing. That's another thing. This is a complicated issue. This is an actual scandal. This is something that the government really is doing that's screwing the people over. But the average American person, I really believe, is way too distracted by these fake scandals, these simple ideas that people's minds can grasp to, like Benghazi. Umbrella Gate and Benghazi
and the IRS
and the IRS scandal. They're distracted by these fake scandals, and they don't even pay attention to the real scandals. And because honestly, to be honest, these types of scandals that are real take more intellectual capacity to understand.
And there's a lot of I should say a lot of minutia to find out. You know what I mean? You have to kind of sift through everything to get what they're going about. It doesn't make a good soundbite.
Unfortunately, in American politics, people vote for someone for what they'll say they do, as opposed to if they'll do what they'll say. But it's not that hard to figure out why these people are so gullible and believe everything Barack Obama says. Are the same people that the man on the television convinced them to buy a Snuggie for every fucking person they know.